Guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Today we are back with another build video, and this build is more just kind of for fun. It's not necessarily functional, it's more for looks, and you can easily make it functional, especially if you have the dine out pack, because on the slot there is going to be a diner. This is what we're currently working on, but because I didn't have the pack, I didn't really make the slot that much functional. Basically, the reason why I decided to make this lot was for my Sims 4 Let's Play. We were going to have an age up, and so far I believe I've done every single birthday just at home because it is the easiest thing. You just plonk a cake down, blow out the candles, Bob's your uncle, everything's great. But I did kind of want to do something different, so I decided to build this lot for my Sim son Evio. He was going to age up from a child to a teen, and so I was trying to figure out what would be a cool place to have a birthday party, and seeing as Evio really loved to pick up the toy cars and most of the time leave it at different places, I decided that it might be cute to do like a mini little racetrack and have Evio's birthday there. So this is going to be Red's Racetrack and Diner. This is the diner part that we are working on. It is right at the edge of the lot, and I just tried to look at normal reference photos when it came to building the diner. I basically only went to one diner styled place in my life, and I don't really remember what it looks like at all, so I used Google heavily in this build. Like I said, it's not really functional, and the reason why is because, as you can see, I took out the refrigerator. In my head, I just didn't want a bunch of Sims cooking on this lot necessarily, like a random Sim showing up and just cooking. It just kind of broke the illusion too much, so I just took it out and put a display there instead. If you have dine out, then you could possibly make this a functional restaurant, although I don't know if they sorted out all the bugs that came with dine out. I don't have the pack, so I wasn't even going to bother trying making this functional, and I could have tried to simulate it as if it was a real bar, but that just would have taken too much effort. So I was just like, you know what, let me just stop the chance of there being any fires and random Sims cooking on the lot. So instead we are going to put hot dog stands outside, so that if your Sim wants to grab something to eat, then they are more than welcome to. They can just get a hot dog or get a hamburger or something. Plus I also think that's a cool thing to have like at a racetrack or something. I kind of switched between the idea where this isn't a actual racetrack that I build in just a little bit, but it's more like a kids racetrack, so that kind of worked a lot with the Evio birthday theme. Plus there's not a lot of space on this lot, so it's a really small racetrack that we're going to build. Over here you can just see me kind of do the finishing touches to the diner. So I add in these long chairs, which every time I get the opportunity to use them, I love to use them. They are so unique and they don't really fit into a lot of normal house builds. So I think a diner was the perfect use for them, or any type of restaurant build is a pretty good use for them. And I also put on the condiments on all of the different tables and stuff. So I don't know if your Sims can actually sit at those tables, just because I did pack them very close together. I kind of wanted to give them a very like packed feeling, and I wanted to add more than just one table in, so I'm not sure if your Sims can actually use it. I know Sims can use the jukebox, that's the only thing I saw Sims use, and in order to throw a birthday party on this lot, I did change the lot type. So when this build is uploaded, which it should be uploaded right now, all of the information will be down below in the description if you do want to get this lot, but when I uploaded it, it is under the generic lot type, but unfortunately it doesn't look like you can have a birthday party in a generic lot, which doesn't make sense to me, but I just went with it. So I changed it to a bar, and I added a basement, and I hid the bar, and I also hid the TV because I didn't want a bunch of people watching TV. So that's what I decided to do. That was the only way I could make this lot I could travel to for a birthday party. Unfortunately, if you want to simulate the same thing, you might need to do that as well. Also, I don't know if they fixed it, but I know a while ago if you went to a generic lot, no other Sim at all would show up, which really sucks, because if it's supposed to be like a public community lot, you would hope that there would be other Sims there. So I don't really know. If you want to change it around, you're more than welcome to. This is one of those builds where you can easily just change a few things around to your liking, and it could work really well. Now, seeing as I've babbled on for quite a while, you just saw me build the racetrack. A lot of racetracks have tires on the side, and the only tire I could find had the plants in it, so it looks a little bit ridiculous, but I just decided to go for it. I also used the corner tiles to try and make the curves. I was really struggling to make a circular curve, and the only way I can think of doing that is to actually add a foundation and working from there, but instead I decided I was just going to do it the way that I did it, using the corner tile placement instead of like actually placing and manipulating, and I'm okay with the way the racetrack turned out. I think it's pretty cute. I also take the sinks that I believe I got with Get to Work. I think it's supposed to be like prison sinks, but it works really well for the illusion of kind of like those drinking fountains. The place I mostly think of it is like for schools. And so I decided to add them kind of around the racetrack as well, because I can see it can get quite hot, especially because we're in the desert biome. So I added that around in case people wanted to get a drink. Over here we are busy adding in the seating area, so I kind of added in a bunch of chairs on top of a raised foundation and put in some stairs, so it can kind of be that you walk up the stairs to take a seat. That is the only way that Sims can actually use it, but I also wanted it to kind of look like you could sit on the stairs, so that was extra seating area. But I also wanted it to be functional, so instead of it all being stairs, I decided to also just add in proper seating. The last thing that we are going to be doing in this build is adding in the little cars, and the way that I'm doing that is I am taking the red toy car and I am sizing it up to try and make it look like the size that maybe a child would be able to get in, or an adult or something. I do want to say that if you download this lot, you might have to like replace it every now and again, or try and figure something out, because when I tested this lot, I had some kids on this lot, and you know, kids love playing with toys, I understand, but unfortunately a lot of the child Sims would go onto the racetrack and pick up the toy cars and kind of play with them around, which I get it, that's what Evio did all the time, but the problem is that they actually steal the cars. By the end of the day, all of my cars were gone and I constantly had to replace it. So just keep that in mind, that you're probably going to have giant cars walking around and it looks kind of ridiculous. That is basically it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this build. It was a fun build to do. It was very different because it didn't really have a proper use, if that makes sense. Like, it's not a clothing store or it's not a house that somebody can live in. It's kind of just this fun little build that I wanted to do for Evio's birthday, so it was really fun to be creative with this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!